Hey peeps, in this video we'll be laser cutting holiday decor that's larger than our laser's workspace. The oversized decoration will be a tree that has multiple layers. To make our design, we'll start by using our polygon tool to create a triangle, and we'll have to change our shape properties to make it 3 sides. Now that we have a basic triangle, we'll copy and paste it. We want to modify one of our triangles by converting it to a path. Then we can use the node tool to curve the bottom side of the triangle. Now we'll duplicate the modified triangle and resize it. Next, we want to resize and move to place the triangle without a curved side. In order to add a trunk to the tree, we'll use the rectangle tool. Now we want to select all of our shapes and align them. We'll also change our dimensions to what we want, which is 12 by 21 inches. We like to duplicate our project as we design it, so in case anything goes wrong, we have our last step saved. Now we're going to curve all the corners using the radius tool. Again, we're going to copy and paste our design, and this pasted one is going to be the layer we add some text and images to, so we don't need the trunk for this one. Next, we're going to use a Boolean join tool to get the border of all the shapes. We're going to use this tool again on the other tree. So now we have our background layer and then the layer that will be on top of it with a more intricate design. The first thing we're going to change with this design layer is we're going to add an offset, but we're going to have it go inward. Now we can create our design, but we'll need to make sure the components connect to the border we just made. If we don't connect our designs to the border, all of the design's pieces will fall out. For our design, we'll start by tracing clip art and moving it to place. Again, we need to make sure it connects to the border, but then we also want to leave some room for text below the deer. Next, we want to copy and paste what we have so far and then use the union tool on all of the shapes. Now we're going to add the text to our design. We want our words to be curved, so we'll create a circle path to apply them to. We're going to select the text and circle, right-click, and apply path to text. Then we can repeat this process with our other text. In order for our text to be separate from the circle, we're going to convert them to paths. Now we can move our words to place. We also want to group all of the letters in Mary, so while we're rotating the text, they're connected. Then we're going to ungroup our letters in Christmas because we need to move the dot on the I so it's connected to the other letters, or it will just fall out of the tree when we laser cut it out. At this point, we decided we want the deer in a different spot, so we'll use our previous copy to make our adjustments. And now we'll move our text to this design. Now we're going to copy and paste everything we just did. And with our duplicate, we'll use a Boolean tool to join all of the design together. Now we're going to copy and paste the two pieces of our project, and we want to put them on different layers temporarily so we can keep track of each one while we split them. The first step we'll take to split the designs in half is line them up together. Next, we want to create a toolpath in the place where we want our designs to be cut. Ideally, we want our design to be split in a place with the least amount of points so that it's less noticeable if the two halves of our design aren't perfectly lined up. Now we're going to select all of our design and hold Shift to select our toolpath. Then we can go to Tools and Cut Shapes. And now our halves are separated. In order for us to line up the second part of our design after we move our material, we'll create reference points that we can engrave while cutting the first halves of each design. We're going to have the reference point close to where our designs are cut in half. Now we want to duplicate this and move it directly to the other side using our arrow key. We'll go ahead and group together the two lines that make up each reference mark. And now we're going to duplicate each of the reference marks. Now we want to move the top of the designs from the bottom. Then we'll duplicate the tops and bottoms. And since we moved each layer to different layers in LightBurn, we can easily identify what to delete from each piece of the design. We want a top and bottom for each layer. And now our designs are complete.
For this project, we're going to be using this 1/8" chipboard, otherwise known as MDF, and it has a smooth side here and kind of a rougher side. The reason we like this material for these kind of projects that we're going to end up painting is because, one, it has a very smooth surface. Two, it is very stable and flat, meaning when you get pieces this large, oftentimes with plywood, it will bow and stuff. This stays pretty flat, so we truly like that. So we've already done the work of dialing in our machine here. We got this little snowflake to cut out at a speed of 800 millimeters per minute, 100% power, and 3 passes. So now it's time to get this thing set up for cutting.
Again, we're in LightBurn and we want to attach settings for our cut layer and then turn everything to our cut layer except our reference marks. We'll keep the marks on an engraving layer.
So we put down some thin sheet aluminum here to protect our work surface, and then we're going to be using these 1/2" blocks to keep it raised up a little bit so that when our pieces drop out, they can drop out onto this.
Now we want to move our laser's crosshairs to our first reference point. Once our crosshairs and first reference mark is aligned, we'll select the mark in LightBurn and use the print and cut feature to set the first target position. We can do the same process to set the second target position. Once we set both target positions, we'll again go to Print and Cut and select the Align Outputs to Targets tool. Now we can laser the second part of our design.
Looks like we got perfect alignment there. Now to the next layer.
For this layer, we're following the same steps to set the target positions as we did with the previous layer. We're sanding the top of the tree to be round because we forgot to design it that way in LightBurn when we wanted it to have a radius. We're going to start by spray painting the tree's back layer with black primer and black paint because the paint we want to use requires a black base coat. Finally, we can assemble our project by attaching the 2 layers of the tree. Thank you so much for watching this Craftmas episode. I hope you enjoyed it.